Hey, sorry, I was just running a great rehearsal, huh? My apologies. Anyway, welcome back to Too Many Notes from Camp A Cappella, and let's talk about rehearsals. Let's talk about running a great rehearsal, okay? So much time and energy is spent in rehearsals, and so we all think we've learned through osmosis how to make a rehearsal work, but there are some time-tested techniques in contemporary a cappella to make sure you maximize every single second of your rehearsal. You ready? We're gonna do this? Let's do this. Number one, if it does not have to be done in rehearsal, don't do it in rehearsal. Small meetings, little groups getting together, discussions of t-shirt colors, whatever, do it online. Do it in a Zoom meeting. Do it in a small committee. It doesn't matter, just don't do it in rehearsal. You need that rehearsal time to do the things that everyone should be doing when you're all together. Does that make sense? Too often little discussions, side breakout, whatever, you lose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes per rehearsal. It sucks the air out of the room. It gets everybody unmotivated, and you shouldn't do it, so don't do it. Number two, you're gonna think I'm crazy for this one. Some of you, I'm gonna get letters. I already know, down below, I'm gonna get letters, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's time. You know what? It's time somebody says something. You know what I'm gonna say? Warm-ups suck. They suck. They suck time out of your rehearsal. Now, if you're doing a morning gig, okay, you're doing a radio show at 6 a.m., if you've got your rehearsal with your group at 7:15 before the normal school day starts, by all means, you need to warm people's voices up. But at 5 p.m., at 7 p.m., you got a pro rehearsal for your group and you're getting together at 8 p.m. and you need 20 minutes of warm-ups, you are wasting time. Plus, my biggest pet peeve, the worst thing in all of a cappella, in all of choral music, in all of performing, autopilot. You know what I'm talking about, right? When people sit there and they sing and they're just kind of just singing music, or they're just standing there on stage and not really thinking about it, and they're thinking about, maybe I'm gonna get pizza afterward. Wait, I had pizza yesterday. Well, I don't know, pizza's good, but I had pepperoni. Maybe just cheese tonight. Like that. And meanwhile, the song's going on and their faces are blank and they have the dull glazed look of a caged animal. You do not want this in your group. But every single time you run rehearsals with warm-ups for 15 minutes, or the exact same scales, the exact same patterns, what are you doing? You are reinforcing the idea that music should be made disconnected from your focus. Terrible idea. If you do want to have warm-ups, make them different every time. Always something different. Keep people on their toes. Do different patterns where you have to skip over. Make them think, right? And you can design warm-ups based upon what is needed in your group. So you're having trouble with blend, work on blend. You've got some problems with the rhythm and the breakdown of the song or the bridge, then build your own warm-up that kind of works on the same kind of thing so they get good at syncopations, anticipations, large vocal jumps, whatever it is, and change it all of the time so they're not in autopilot. If you do that, and they need to be warmed up because it's early in the morning, then warm-ups are pretty good. Otherwise, they suck. Sorry. Number three, start on time. And when I mean on time, I mean the second that your rehearsal is supposed to start. So if you're supposed to start at 9 a.m., at 9 a.m. and 0 seconds, start singing. If you're doing warm-ups, then do your warm-ups then. If you're gonna start with a song, dive right into the music. And then any person who walks in the room late, be it a student, be it an adult, be it in a professional group and you're all rehearsing at 8 p.m., whatever it is, they get the message clearly. The rehearsal has started, and people will be much more on time because they'll realize that is the contract, okay? And you have to say less because you're speaking it through the music. Does that make sense? Number four, start with something new. If you can, if you've got something new, when people are fresh and excited at the top of that rehearsal, dive in with new music. And then later on in the rehearsal, you can go through and run those songs that you already know and work on polishing them or whatever. But it makes people really want to be there at the beginning of your rehearsal too. It's like, ooh, we're doing this new tune. I want to be there like right from the very start of the whole thing. It's all about motivation. And eventually you'll be able to jump back to songs and everybody will get everything, so you shouldn't worry about that. But that new music early in the rehearsal, people get excited about that. Next up, sectionals. You shouldn't be afraid of sectionals. Anytime you can break things up in your group, do it. Because it's really valuable for people that have an opportunity to work on their individual parts. And if you have the ability, if you have the capacity, and a lot of choirs do this, a lot of groups do this, a lot of groups exist entirely this way, learning recordings. There is nothing wrong with learning recordings. In fact, think about it. If you think about things that people can do on their own before they all get together, if one of them is learning their music, learning the notes. Then when everybody comes together, you spend much less time plunking notes and a lot more time creating music. It makes the rehearsals so much more exciting, so much more engaging, because people are actually singing chords rather than how does my part go? Okay, what's that again? And use your recording devices at the end of each run through of songs. Like when you're done, okay, we're gonna move on to the next song. This will be the last time. That should be a cue for everybody to pull out their phones, get their little voice memo recording going, and record that time. Because out of this whole theory, it's not a theory, it's fact. And it's this. Think about school, okay? People study mathematics, they study foreign language, and they learn all the way up till summer. Then for 3 months, they kind of forget. And then they have to be refreshed to get back to where they were before they keep going. If only they'd been working on it right before they came back to school, they could go up, keep going, and boom, this is how we should do it with music, right? At the end of your rehearsal, if they've got recordings, the last take through every single one of the rehearsal songs that you did, then they listen to this on their way to the rehearsal the next time, they can sing along, be refreshed, be reminded, and then boom, you've saved yourself all that remedial time. Oh right, that's how the bridge goes. They'll walk in the door remembering that. Recording devices are your friend. Obviously, if you need to tell everyone in your group to put their phone in airplane mode and knock it off with the Candy Crush or Angry Birds or whatever, that makes sense. Or the TikTok, right? You know what I'm talking about. So shut off the Wi-Fi if you have to, but make sure they do get those recordings going, because they will be much more technically proficient. And music is never about the technical stuff, it's about the emotion. You can get to that much faster. And that gets me to my next one. The most important thing about each piece of music is the emotion. If a song's obvious, oh, what a beautiful morning, walking on sunshine, if it's clear what the emotion is, you don't have to belabor it. You don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it. But if it's a complicated, nuanced, bittersweet, or not entirely well understood song from history that has all this powerful meaning inside of it, then discuss it. Get together with your group, have a little discussion, a little powwow. And it might not be what you say, it might be what other people say in the group about how the song impacts them, about what it means to them, that ends up becoming cathartic for everybody and oh, it means that. And then you can take that discussion, distill it into a short little phrase, a few words, and guess what? You can trigger that every single time you start a song, because you don't need one piece of information at the start of a song. You don't need two pieces of information at the start of a song. A lot of people just think well, you just need the pitch and you need the tempo. No, the pitch, the tempo, and the mood. And so many great sets are designed through juxtaposition. You go fast, then slow. You go big, then small. You go happy, then sad. And it's that happy to sad change that you really want to make sure your singers are able to do. And they'll do it a lot better if, number one, they really understand the emotion, and number two, throughout your rehearsals, you never say, let's just take it from the top, or let's just run through it. No, 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 no. Every single time the emotion should be there. And if this means that it's a really difficult song and it's hard for people to sing that song because of the emotion, and it's too much to do it in rehearsal, then you probably shouldn't be singing that song. It can be powerful and impactful, but if they're gonna be getting up on stage, you wanna make sure that every time they're on that stage, they're singing with the emotion. And if every single time in rehearsal, they're singing it without emotion, and it's just making tones, and then they get on stage and you think they're gonna be able to sing with the emotion, this muscle's atrophied, right? They're used to singing it, the way they phrase it, the way they breathe, everything is devoid of emotion. You want that emotion in there every single time they sing it, and then it's impossible for them to sing it without the emotion. In fact, every performance will be easier than the rehearsals because there'll be that energy in the room, and they'll be able to build on the vibe that's happening between the singers and the audience. That's a beautiful thing. And this also stops that thing where you have this incredible emotional performance when you're just rehearsing around the piano on Tuesday and you're like, what happened? That was so powerful. And then Saturday you're like, where'd the emotion go? It just disappeared, it evaporated. That's because you're not working on it and you're not making it a central part of your music. You're just stumbling upon it sometimes. That's not the right way to go about music. It should always have the emotion inside of it. Imagine if theater performers got up on stage and they just went through the motions every time and they were like, I love you. Yeah, I love you too. Okay, how was that take? Was that good? Okay, fine. Don't let your singers do that. It doesn't make any sense. Theatrical performers perform with the character and the personality and the emotion every single time so they can get it right. So should singers, especially vocal harmony groups where everybody has their own role, and those background parts should be sung with the emotion as well. Don't let people phone it in. And those warm-ups, they better be engaging, or else they're getting good at phoning it in. That's not what you want. Only a couple more here, but these are straightforward. Next up, business. business at the end. Don't do business at the beginning of the rehearsal, and don't do it in the middle, because anytime you do business in the middle of the rehearsal or the beginning, it's gonna start like a balloon, sucking up all the air in the room and taking as much time as possible. You don't believe me? Let me lay out a scenario. If you decide, let's talk about t-shirts. What kind of t-shirts should we make for merchandise? You'll have a 25-minute discussion at the beginning of rehearsal. You put it in the middle, 25 minutes. I like this logo. I like that logo, but I like it smaller and I like it up here. No, I think it should be big on the back and a small one in the front. Blah, blah, blah. I like purple, but not that shade of purple. You'll have everybody talking forever. But if you say at the last 2 minutes of the rehearsal, okay guys, you want to say something about the t-shirts? What do you want? You're like, anything but pink, I gotta go, bye. And that's it. So much easier. Start a committee, have it be offline, have them pick something, people can vote. Just don't do it when everybody's together, because it doesn't require everybody to be in the room together to have these kind of discussions, right? Business at the end of rehearsal. Second to last here, the penultimate I've got for you, number 9. The best rehearsal is a performance. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's look at school groups. A lot of them only have like 3 real concerts in the year, right? They've got like a holiday performance, maybe something in the kind of middle of the winter, February thing, and then a year-end concert, and they do a couple little things, but that's like it for them? No, not good. They're not motivated really to learn a lot of music, and most of all, they're not getting that feedback from the audience, the thing that's best about the music. Get your singers out there on stage as much as possible. And it doesn't have to be a stage. You could be singing like on the radio. You could be doing a farmer's market over here and sing for the alumni and sing for an all-school meeting and sing in a nursing home and go everywhere you possibly can, here, there, everywhere, and sing as much as possible. And if you're like, well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get our music up to speed, guess what? If you've got a concert, people are gonna learn the music faster and more convincingly, right? And it's not a terrible thing to like have the music 95% of the way there and then like kind of nudge them out on stage, because the song will come alive, and a lot of the things that you have to like crack down on rehearsal will find themselves on stage, right? And people learn like, okay, this works. This is how I sing when I'm on stage as opposed to when I'm in rehearsal. So much of that stuff becomes a really important feedback loop, and there'll be so much more energy in your group. They'll come out of that concert and into the next rehearsal like, oh, that was so great. Okay, when's the next performance? Like, what are we gonna do? Let's learn this kind of song. I think we need another closer, like blah, 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 blah. And if you're only doing a couple concerts a year, you don't have that energy. So get out there and perform as much as you can, even if it's little performances. And the last one, number 10, have fun. Right, let's be honest. There aren't a lot of people who are doing a cappella for a full-time career and it's just a job and it's just a slog. That's not what a cappella is. Almost everybody who's singing is doing it because they love it. And yeah, maybe they're making some money. And yeah, maybe they're getting some credibility for it. But it's in their hearts, right? So those rehearsals you're doing, as much as you can, try to lead with a carrot more than a stick. Try to make it fun and engaging and interesting. And remember that as a director, the same way that your singers, when they walk out on stage, are performing, when you walk into that rehearsal, you're performing as well. You want to have all of your energy, all your personality, all this thought up ahead, and make sure that that experience of the rehearsal for them is a really great experience, which requires you to bring your A game and to be on, even if you've had a lousy day, even if things are not going your way. Doesn't matter. You gotta leave that at the door and bring into the room what you want everybody else to give back to you, so you can make that powerful music and change lives. Does that sound good? You happy? Okay, so that's this one. You got more tips, you got more pointers. How do you make a great rehearsal amazing? How do you make an amazing rehearsal life-changing? Post them below. I'm not the only person with ideas here. You guys run rehearsals all the time. What are your best tips and pointers? Please share, and yeah, I'll see you next time.